Welcome, children, again to the second part of Class 6 History, Chapter 1. Let us continue the second part, page number 3, the last paragraph. Why do people travel nowadays? Why do people they used to go from one place to another? What are the reasons? Let us see. Look at map 1 once more. Hills, mountains, and seas form the natural frontiers of the subcontinent. Frontier means, children, borders, or the line where one country joins another. So let us see the map of India in page number 2. There, hills, mountains, Himalaya mountain is there, different hills are there. Just have a look here. Okay, now let's back again in page number 3. While it was difficult to cross these frontiers, those who wanted could and did scale the mountains and cross the seas. While it was difficult in order to cross this border, those who wanted could and did scale the mountains and they crossed the seas. People from across the frontiers also came into the subcontinent and settled here. People from outside, they also could came in our subcontinent and began to live here. Let us turn the next page of the chapter, that is page number 4. These movements of people enriched our cultural traditions. This movement, it brought what? Culture and traditions. In this means to improve the quality, flavor of something. People have shared new ways of carving stone, composing music, and even cooking food over several hundreds of years. People, they have shared, they have learned the new ways how to carve stone, then how to compose music, and how to cook nice dishes over several hundreds of years. Now, let us proceed to the next part of the chapter, names of the land. We already mentioned that India and Bharat. How does this name comes? Let us see, children, here. Two of the words we often use for our country are India and Bharat. These are the two words to denote the name of our country. These are India and Bharat. The word India comes from the Indus, called Sindhu in Sanskrit. India word, it comes from Indus, from the word Indus, called Sindhu. Its meaning is Sindhu in Sanskrit. Find Iran and Greece in your atlas. Open your atlas and search thereby afterward and see there Iran and Greece. The Iranians and the Greeks who came through the northwest about 2500 years ago and were familiar with the Indus called it the Hindus or the Indos, and the land to the east of the river was called India. So these Iranians, and the Greeks who came through this northwest about 2500 years ago. They are, they are familiar with the Indus and they called it the Hindus or the Indos. And the land to the east of the river was called India. The name Bharat was used for a group of people who lived in the northwest and who are mentioned in the Rig Veda. You know, we have four Vedas: Samaveda, Yajurveda, Rig Veda, and Atharva Veda. So, this Rig Vedas means here, and who are mentioned in the Rig Veda, it has mentioned there in the Rig Veda. The earliest composition in Sanskrit dated to about 3500 years ago. Later, it was used for the country. Afterward, it was used for our country. Finding out about the past. To find out about the past, let us see. There are several ways of finding out about the past. One is to search for and read books that were written long ago. To know about the past, to search for and that books. That means read books that were written long years ago. These are called manuscripts. Manuscript means a very old book or documents that was written by hand. Because they were written by hand. This comes from the Latin word manu, manuscripts. It is a Latin word, children, and it originated from the word manu, meaning hand. These were usually written on palm leaf or on the specially prepared bark of a tree known as the beech, which grows in the Himalayas. During those days, there were no paper, children. So those people they used to write either on palm leaf or uh, beech. It says prepared bark from the bark of a tree, and this palm tree and beech, these were grows in the Himalayas. Over the years, many manuscripts were eaten away by insects. Some were destroyed, but many have survived, often preserved in temples and monasteries. See those records, those handwritten things, spoiled. Okay, were spoiled. Many manuscripts were eaten away by insects. Some were destroyed, damages, but many have survived, often preserved in temples and monasteries. Yeah, it is still that means preserved there in the temples and monasteries. Monasteries means a place where monks live together. Okay. These books dealt with all kinds of subjects, and those books it contains of what? With all kinds of subjects, the religious belief and practices, the lives of kings, medicine, and science. These are mentioned there. Besides, there were epics, poems, plays. Epics means religious book Ramayana and Mahabharata. These are the two greatest epics of India. Many of these were written in Sanskrit, others were in Prakrit, language used by ordinary people. So many of those were written in Sanskrit and others were in Prakrit language. Prakrit means languages used by ordinary people, and Tamil also. We can also study inscriptions. Inscriptions means words that are written or cut on something, that is called inscriptions. We can also study inscriptions. These are writings on relatively hard surfaces such as stone or metal. Meaning I already cleared your voice. Again, it has repeated here. Sometimes kings got their orders inscribed so that people could see, read, and obey them. Whose king comes after whom they sing. It was inscribed in order to people could see, read, and obey them. There are other kinds of inscriptions as well, where men and women, including kings and queens, recorded what they did, what work they have done, when they succeeded in a battle, these all things. For example, kings often kept records of victories in battle. To overcome victories means to overcome, to success in battle. These records are kept here. Can you think of the advantages of writing on a hard surface and what could have been the difficulties? It is very useful. If it is written on hard substance, it will remain forever. We see, and our next generation also can read and see that. Okay. There were many other things that were made and used in the past. Those who study these objects are called archaeologists. These ancient things, okay, the past things. Those who study these objects are called archaeologists. Children, underline this. Who are archaeologists? You learn by heart this one. They study the remains of buildings made of stone and brick, paintings and sculpture. They study those people. They study the remains of buildings, whatever buildings it remain, which are made of stone and brick, paintings and sculpture. Sculpture means the art of making figures or objects from stone, wood, clay, etc. They also explore and excavate. They also find out that, and excavate means dig under the surface of the earth to find tools, weapons, pots, pans, ornaments, and coins. Some of these objects may be made of stone, others of bone, baked clay, or metal. Those things, some of them are made of stone and others of bone, yet others are baked clay or metal. Objects that are made of hand, imperishable substances, usually survive for a long time. Objects, things which are made of hand, and which are made of heart, those are imperishable substances. Imperishable means these are that which will last forever or for a long time. Objects that are made of hard, imperishable substances usually survive for a long time. That's up to here for today again. Thank you.